I would suggest a cushion for today, so you've got something to work with. We're going to do a little bit on our knees, so if your knees are sensitive, then why not have a towel or a blanket or something underneath for a bit of padding. Hands on knees, sitting up nice and tall, breathing in and out through your nose. Just noticing the breath. In the morning we get this really big strong dose of serotonin to help us wake up, to help us get up. So the masculine energy of the body is very dominant first thing in the morning, whereas in the evening the feminine side is more dominant because it's more reflective and time to go inwards and get rested. So sometimes you can feel that when you do a morning practice and you tune into your breath. Let's take right ear to right shoulder, chin down to chest, left ear to left shoulder, and then coming up and over. Nice big sweeping circles, slow and steady. And then changing direction, left ear to left shoulder, chin down to chest. How's the neck feeling this morning? Excuse me. It's the start of the pollen arriving, isn't it? Taking your shoulders circling, nice slow steady circles. Inhaling as they come up. Exhaling as they come back and down. And then bringing the elbows into circle. And maybe a full arm extension, lifting as you inhale, bringing arms down as you exhale. So sometimes these arm circles are just about the arms. Other times you can really feel how your heart is the sort of origin of the movement. And see if you can do a circle really coming from the heart space. And then inhaling, bringing your arms up overhead, take hold of your left wrist as you exhale, lean to the right hand side. Then inhale as you come up through center. So the side body clearly takes quite a large part in any kind of twisting practice. Coming over to the left. Let's do it again on each side. And then bringing your hands out to the side. You're going to do cactus arms. So we're going to see how the twist feels when we're not using our arms to kind of propel us in any direction. So we're just curious. Inhale as you sit up tall. Exhale as you rotate. Inhale to center. And exhale, go the other way. Just aware of when our torso is in charge, so we're using our core strength to move. What is the range of movement like this morning? And then coming to center, and we'll do the same again but with the arms engaged. So left hand to right knee, right hand behind. Inhale as you sit up, and exhale as you rotate over to the right hand side. And we're not in a rush, it's a slow class this morning, so take your time there. And then as you're in this twist, take a little wriggle, feel into it. Often you come to yoga and you've just done a cardio workout the day before, or done something different, and it's really interesting, the muscles that are tender, the muscles that are numb or not in any way kind of connected to your awareness. Okay, and switching sides, so we're going to take right hand to left knee, left hand behind. Start by sitting up and exhale as you rotate. It's not static, it's a breathing rotation. Sometimes you get a good wriggle on, you find some of those little pops in the spine. It can be really satisfying. And then coming back to center. Bring both hands behind you, fingers pointing towards sitting bones. Soften the elbows. Inhale as you lift the heart. And lift your gaze up. Breathing into the front of your chest. And then coming back into center and interlinking fingers, pressing the palms ahead of you, dropping chin to chest, opening up space between the shoulder blades and breathing into the back of your heart. And coming back into center, place your hands on your knees, slow, steady circles with the heart. So you can make quite nice big circles. Remember that Thursdays are more of a yin practice, so we have time. We're not trying to fit as many poses into a practice as possible. We're actually trying to be present with the movement. And then changing direction. Making your way back to center, and we're going to come onto hands and knees. Taking some cat and cow, but really originating this movement from the tailbone. Such a lovely way to get that ripple effect through the spine. So as you exhale, tailbone tips down. And heart arches up towards the sky, chin moves to chest. And then as you inhale, starting at the tailbone, a beautiful gliding movement through the spine as your heart radiates forward and you lift your gaze. Beginning at the tailbone, tucking down. No rush, take your time. We're seeing if we can actually really feel each part of the spinal journey. The reality is quite a few chunks of the spine just move together. It's hard to isolate vertebrae, but it's really worth trying because of the mobility that gives you. Coming into center. Let's extend the right leg out behind, keeping it parallel to the floor. We're not letting it lift up too high. And we're going to do some sideways rotation, hip rotations. So as you exhale, take the knee out to the right hand side and see if you can draw it all the way up to the right arm. And then slowly let it travel out to the side and back again. Just notice what's going on in your hands. Notice the transfer of weight, where your foundation shifts as you move. And as your leg goes back, there's this neutralizing, you come back into a more balanced place. And then notice what's going on in the pelvis. So untamed, the pelvis is going to wriggle all over the place, but we're going to kind of bring some strength to that. So the pelvis stays as parallel to the floor as you can. One more time. Extending the leg out behind you. Let the spine arch and lift the foot up high if that feels good. Otherwise, if the lower back is feeling sensitive this morning, don't. Just keep parallel to the ground. If you are taking the arch, bring the left arm all the way back, bend the knee and see if you can catch hold of your foot. And then kick the foot into the hand, press down through the right hand and take some breaths. And you're going to look to the side. Hopefully this is helping you open up your chest. Releasing, extend the leg out, reach the left arm forwards and down and bring both knees to the floor. Sit back on your heels, stretching your arms out in front of you. Inhale as you come back up to all fours. And we'll do the same sequence on the other side. So extending the left leg back. Notice what's going on in the hands. Keep the elbows soft. Exhale, knee sweeps out to the side. Tapping the top of the left arm. Inhaling, sweeping out to the side and back. Transfer of weight through the hands. Notice that. And then notice what's going on in the hips. Trying to contain the movement. One more time. Extending the leg out behind you. Lifting the foot. Noticing how that feels. Bend that back knee, reach the right arm forwards. Sweep the arm back, catch hold of the foot. Foot kicks into hand as you look ahead. And then releasing, bringing hands to the floor, extending the left leg out, and knees come together. You're going to walk your hands forwards. Melt your heart down to the floor, either dropping chin to the floor or forehead to the floor. Pressing down through the hands, through the forearms, rolling your weight forwards. Coming into a little Sphinx pose. You can adjust the position of your arms. You want your elbows to be just beneath your shoulders and your fingers are wide apart. Flatten your feet. Draw the shoulders back. Move the heart forwards. And take some breaths here. Hips pressing into the floor. Gently pressing into the palms, you might lift the elbows up off the floor. Optional. And keep the shoulders away from the ears. Make sure the neck is easy and relaxed. And then as you exhale, pick up the right hand, thread it beneath the left armpit and turn right ear to the floor, extending the left arm overhead. Bringing your left hand closer to give you something to lift yourself up. Come back through neutral and then sweep the left hand underneath the right armpit. Left ear coming to the floor. And right arm extends. Bringing the right hand closer so that you can come up. Maybe coming up onto your hands, maybe keeping the elbows down, you choose. Bend the knees behind you, bring the toes together and look up. So if you've got your arms extended, it's going to look a little bit like this. But the tendency is, I see it very often, that the shoulders immediately come up around the ears. That's not helpful to the extraordinarily complicated and fantastic network of nerves and muscles and veins and arteries that move through the neck, through the shoulders. And they need their space. And then lowering your elbows down, dropping your legs down to the floor, dropping your forehead to the floor. Bring your hands either side of your chest and we'll come back into child's pose by sitting back on heels. Forehead lays on the floor and arms come either side of body. Bringing your hands either side of your knees. You're going to come back up onto all fours. You're going to inhale and reach the right leg out behind you. And as you exhale, bring that right knee forward, place it between your hands and come into a pigeon. So if you're using a cushion, it's really nice to have a cushion underneath your right hip here. Not always, it's not at all necessary for many of us, but it's just quite nice. And you can choose the position of this right foot. Perhaps it's up close to your left wrist. For some people, that's great. Perhaps it's tucked in nearer towards you. Walking that back foot away, come up onto your fingertips. Let your lower body really ground, connect to the earth. And walking your hands forwards, forehead to the floor.
Option to pick up the left arm, thread it beneath the right armpit, turning the left ear to the floor. Inhale, coming back to center, walking the hands in towards you, making your way back into table. Left leg extends out behind you, and as you exhale, left knee comes forward, perhaps the cushion under your hips. Walking that back foot further away and coming up onto your fingertips. And when you're ready, walking your hands forwards, forehead to the floor. And picking up the right arm, threading it beneath the left armpit, taking right ear to the floor. Inhaling as you come back, walking your hands in, and we're going to return to all fours. Inhale, reaching the right leg back. Exhale, placing the foot forward between your hands. Walk that foot a little further forward. Keep the hands either side of it and let the hips lunge. Inhale, take your arms up. And as you exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. Sweep the left elbow across and turn to face the right. Right elbow points to the ceiling. Inhale, reaching your arms up. Exhale, hands to the floor, knees together. Inhale, left leg goes back. Exhale, left foot comes forward between hands, hips lunging forwards. Inhale, the arms come up. Exhale, hands to heart, and right elbow comes across. We take a nice rotation here. And then inhaling as you come back up. Arms high. Exhaling, hands to the floor. Knees come together. And then we're going to come to sitting, so you're going to take your legs straight out in front of you. And it's quite nice to have that cushion underneath your sitting bones for a little bit of a pelvic tilt. Toes pointing upwards. So if you have really tight hamstrings, you can soften your knees. You can be here like this. More important to have your spine feeling nice and tall. Okay, you're going to bend the right knee, hug the knee in towards your chest. Take the foot across. Inhale as you reach the left arm up, and as you exhale, take the left elbow across, right hand behind, and rotate. Inhale as you come back to center. Straighten the legs. Little moment to give them a shake. And then bring the left knee in. Give it a hug. Sit up nice and tall. Bring the foot across. Right arm rises. Exhale as right elbow comes across, left hand behind. And then inhaling as you come back to center. And we'll take soles of feet together. Holding onto your toes, let your knees bounce out to the sides. You sit up nice and tall. And then as you exhale, drop the chin towards your chest and roll the crown of the head down towards the toes. Inhaling as you come back up, bringing your hands to prayer. The love inside of me sees the love inside of you. Namaste.